Maybe you work at a so-called regular job. You're not an artist, a writer, or healer. You don't sell bread at the farmer's market or grow hydroponic vegetables. Nope. You work for a bank or in HR. Or you manage staff or projects or write code or work in tech or you run the front desk or you study air quality or sit on a manufacturing line. In other words, you spend a lot of time on work that's the opposite of creative or spiritual. And you're hungering for something to fill you up. You wonder, how did I get here? How did I end up here? My empathic gifts are constantly whispering to me to go in a different direction, and yet I can't. Well, today we're going to explore how empaths fit into these worlds of finance and tech, science, business, and all the other seemingly very non-woo-woo fields. And I hope that if this is you, you're going to leave with some greater understanding about yourself, why you're doing what you're doing, and some real true options for changing it if you choose.
Flowdreaming, still kinda woo-woo, is just what it sounds like. An escape into the world of woo. Also, a ride into you. And how to feel happier, wiser, and more self-aware in every way. It's your ultimate journey into personal growth and inner power. We'll explore ideas like how your energy self influences the kinds of opportunities you encounter, or how your personal growth can drive your business growth. Or even how that feeling of being stuck is really always coming from something else. We just have to figure out what. That's right, we're a dash of woo-woo, a sprinkle of self-care, a heap of problem-solving and pattern-busting, and a giant cup of encouragement. We're going to relight so much passion, purpose, self-love, and confidence in you that you practically stagger. I'm Summer McStravick, your host, and welcome to Flowdreaming, still kinda woo-woo.
Gosh, I'm really enjoying this 3-part series on empaths in the workplace, empaths with money, and of course, empaths in the seemingly wrong career. I periodically do special subject series like this. And, this one was kind of inspired because I was just sitting around a couple of months ago, and I was thinking about the people that I coach and work with privately in an ongoing way, the people I really work more intensively with throughout the year. And I realized many of them were working in fields that were so opposite the whole woo-woo world that I live and breathe in. They are in real estate. They work in pharmaceuticals. They work in HR. They work in accounting and banking and finance. They are university professors working in statistical probability. And I just thought to myself, how did I end up with so many people who seem like their emotional, intuitive selves would be the furthest thing from their minds, right? These are people who are professional, normal folk spending most of the time up there in their heads, getting intellectual work, white-collar work done. So I started to think about this. How is it that all of these high performers have reached points in their lives where they've reached out to me? Why? What does this mean? Because each and every one of them, I've discovered, has, of course, their beautiful empathic side. And it's a side that they've either unconsciously used throughout their career. It's helped them navigate. It's given them the hunches and the intuition. It's nudged them and guided them quietly, hiddenly. Or they haven't listened and they're dead ending in these kinds of careers. And the voice inside them has just been growing louder and louder, saying, change. It's time to shift. It's time to let this go. So today we're going to look into this type of empath, the person who is seemingly successful on the outside and they're doing regular world stuff. In fact, this stuff might even be a little bit on the intellectual side, right? You bankers, you realtors, you lawyers. And we're going to see what your empathic self is going to say to you about this. And if it does or doesn't want you to change direction. Now, if this isn't you, think about somebody you know, maybe somebody you're married to, maybe one of your siblings, because this is going to give you some great insights into who they really are. Okay, so let's start by scrolling back with me a few years, maybe a decade, maybe a few decades. I want you to remember that point in your life when you fell into the career you're in now. And when I say fell in, kind of mean it like falling in. A lot of us chose something, and the choosing wasn't always so obvious. In hindsight, it almost felt like a default. As in, well, I went to school for accounting. My parents wanted me to be an accountant, so I began doing it. And I didn't really think that 20 years later, I would still be doing it. And what I've learned over the last 20 years is I absolutely hate this. Interesting. Maybe you're thinking, well, I actually intended to be a musician. I had wanted to play in the symphony. But I got this job working at the university. And then I went and got a master's. And then it was just kind of easy. I began teaching. And then I became a professor. And now I write about music theory and teach, but I don't play. And it's fine, but it's kind of the same. And it's rigorous, and there's a lot of competition. And it's not the creative environment that I'd always envisioned myself being in. So there's something about these professions that we often fall into that feel very safe. Either it wasn't that much of a struggle to get in, we just kind of started doing it by default, and then after a while we realized that we'd been there so long it seemed kind of hard to change now, or if we wanted to change, gosh, the only other jobs that would hire us are pretty much the same kind of job we're in now, right? Because your resume has got to match the new job. And we realized, oh my God, what have I done? I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a career that seemingly doesn't fit me. And yet here's the weird part. I can do it. And I do it well. So obviously some part of me is very capable of doing this. Running meetings and being on Zoom all day and managing staff and writing reports and taking measurements and doing quantitative analysis, etc. And you say to yourself, it's so strange because I have this deep fascination with personal growth. I have a deep fascination with Reiki. I love learning new healing modalities. I talk with my angels. I go on trips to exotic locations. Shouldn't I be doing something else in my life? You, my dear empath, are living what feels like a contradiction. You're living a work life that feels like nobody would understand all the rest of me. They would think I am crazy. And yet, my true heart is singing and wanting and longing for all the mysteries, right? For creativity and brightness and interesting things, and for things not to always be the same day after day. Think about this person. Think about how they're holding right now the yin and the yang inside them, the light and the dark. One foot strong in the material world, the other foot strong in the world of light and energy and spirit. The first thing I want you to think of is maybe you're exactly where you need to be. We have a tendency to, what's the old saying? Like we want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Like, I shouldn't be doing this anymore, but I can't leave. I'm trapped. Maybe it's not about leaving at all. Maybe it's about recognizing that you've already mastered one part of your life, something that you obviously had a need or a desire to learn. Stability, financial security, respect of peers and the world. All of that sort of physical material stuff. Frankly, you nailed it. You did it. You've done it. But that doesn't mean you get rid of it. You build a beautiful house, it would be silly not to live in it, right? To say, I built it, now I'm moving on, gonna go over there to that little trailer. You build the house, you live in it. The question is, what do you want to do now in the beautiful house that you've built? So some of you are going to recognize that this work life I've created is a balanced scale inside of me. But unfortunately, there's nothing in the other side of the scale, just a longing and a wish. So you're going to be on a path right now of pivoting. A path where you say, I continue to work, and I may end up showing myself differently at work as I start this growth and change, this path of inner development. And that's okay. I'm going to allow that. I'm going to feel safe in that. But I will be taking that trip to the Peruvian jungles. I will be working on my own inner spirituality. I will learn how to travel through the dimensions or read the Akashic records or channel that Reiki healing light. And your friends might think you're crazy, and your family might think you've lost your freaking mind. But you haven't. You've just recognized, I've mastered the one thing. And not only that, but I sat in that mastery over long without changing because I wasn't sure how to do it. I was afraid that I would leave it all together. I'd lose everything. I'd be destitute. My answer to you is, no, you won't. You've learned a skill. You've mastered this material aspect of your life, this career aspect. And by master, I don't mean you're making a billion buckaroonies, but you're doing all right. You know how to have stability in a normal worldly career. And you've recognized, now I turn my attention to what I do not know. This is your path. And this is why you have permission to be in the path. And this is why when you're saying, but I should do this and I should start being creative and I should start and I should, you're going to throw all this stuff on you. I see it happen with my own clients. I'm going to throw all these expectations on how I should, start writing and throw pottery and mix herbs together and do all the things you want to do. And you'll be mad at yourself that you don't make time for it. You'll be mad at yourself that you're longing for it, but you're not yet doing it. Don't be mad at yourself. The reason you're not yet making time for it is because you're still learning to trust that it's okay to walk this new path of growth. You're still trying to understand that you won't lose the old path, the home that you've already built. You don't have to smash the house to learn something new. In fact, you built the house to live in, to discover something new within. And that is why you might be moving slowly. That's why you might be moving cautiously. That's why you might still get stuck up in your head at times saying, should I do this? Can I even do this? I'm no good at this. I'm not creative. I'm not intuitive. I'm not sensitive. But you know what? If you have a fascination with any of this stuff, then you are all of those things. You are not an outsider looking in like a little girl whose face is pressed up to a cold window, looking at the warm fire and the hearth in the home. No. The longing in your heart is a part of you saying, I'm awake now and I'm here. Come play with me. Come be with me. Come explore me. But what happens is you feel sometimes like if I do that, I will lose the other. If I move toward you, what if I suddenly can't stand the work I'm doing? What if everything falls apart? What if I can't sustain it? What if I'm swept off my feet and I want to ride off with Prince Charming and dump the old guy at home? That's not going to happen. You built your home. You love your home. Your home provides. Your home is the warm fire. It's not Prince Charming you're looking for. You're looking to decorate the interior. You're looking to discover who you are, to fill it full of wild green plants and put bright curtains up. You're looking for that in you. You are completing something, not leaving something. Can you see the distinction? Now, I haven't even addressed those of you who are the opposite. Those of you who are all about the wild and the wondrous and the intuitive and the artistic. And you're saying, can you do one for me on how to get materially secure? I'm going to encourage you to look back a couple episodes to Under-Earning Empaths. I've kind of addressed that. Really, though, today's focus is on those of you who are feeling like you're in the wrong field, right? You're running around wearing a costume. And I want to assure you that you're not. You will walk the path of balance. And if you are longing for that, it means you've already started walking that path. It means it's already awoken in you. It means the opportunities are going to flow to you and come beautifully, fast and furious, falling into your fingers if you allow it. Your only job right now is to say yes. Yeah, I'm going to join this. Yes, I'm going to sign up for that. Yes, I'm going to learn how to do this beautiful thing with my energy, with my heart, with my spirit, with my intuition. Yes. And you're not going to judge yourself as you go through it. You're not going to say, boy, I've got a lot to catch up and all the people around me are so much better. You know what? They've been learning different things before you all arrived together. Maybe they did not create that kind of career or that kind of material or logical basis in their lives. Maybe they were off doing something different. You know what? It's none of your business. And I mean that in the most beautiful and gentle way. It's none of your business because it doesn't belong to you. You are not on their path. It would not fit you. It would not look right on you. It is not yours. It's theirs. And let them be on it as they wish. You have your very own gem-encrusted, jewel-filled path. And it requires people like us. Something about me, to put this in perspective, some of you guys know I am a Virgo, very practical. I have an Aquarius moon, meaning I love the unusual, the sublime, and the strange. And I'm Libra rising, meaning I seek balance. As an entrepreneur, as a corporate leader, I have done all the things. Written the reports, earned the money, done the P&Ls. Done all the things that feel like a business person, a regular business person. Taught myself rudimentary HTML and coding so that I could help develop these websites and apps and all the things and the structures that I use to support this work. Taught myself audio engineering and editing so that I could build audio studios and build podcast communities. Really normal stuff. But I did all of this as a way to support the other part of me, the part that you know, the part that you hear year after year in this podcast, the part of me that says, I look into your heart, I will work with you, I will guide you, let me share with you, let me lead you into a flow dream, let's change energy together. Let's cast a ritual of beautiful magnitude. Let's find the path of ease and flow. Let's talk to your higher guidance. That is my other half. And over the years, I have really striven to find an equilibrium between the two. When I am all into my creative spiritual self, when I am all there, the material supports of my life start to get wonky and fall away and chip and break. When I am all into the material aspects of my life and business, I start to feel dull, frustrated, cut off, unfulfilled. And I've recognized I need both in equal measure. So right now, I'd like you to do a little check-in into your heart and into your mind. If I had to ask you for a percentage, are you 50-50? Are you 60-40? 70-30? 90-10? Where would you like to be? Can you give yourself permission to reach and become that balance? Because if you can, then by all means, run with it. Run, 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 run. Go, 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 go. Time's a-wasting. Dive in. Dive in with the assurance that you won't lose anything. Dive in with the assurance that if you end up deciding to ditch that day job and that old career, so be it. You will have support because that part of you, that aspect of your spirit and ability has been built. That knowledge is encoded in you. You will be able to create that security again. However, you might just decide that you like what you're doing. And now you actually discover you like it even more because you're not resenting it. You're not feeling it's taking something away or preventing you. You have no more resentment around it. And so it once again begins to fill your heart because you've unleashed and allowed this whole other part of you to have free reign and rise up. Ask yourself right now, what percentage am I? And what do I want to be? So this is giving you some perspective about an empath in the wrong field. Now, I want to just say caveat at the end. Some fields will be inherently more difficult for empaths. I have been in the ER room a number of times in the last month. Some family members of mine, well, my mom's, they've had some pretty serious health challenges. I've spent a lot of time in ER. And I see the nurses and the doctors scurrying around. And I can feel them like they're walking around with these, God, I don't know how else to say it. It's like toilet paper tubes, the empty toilet paper rolls. They've got these toilet paper tubes around them. They're like hardened exteriors. They're like roly-poly bugs, right? They're all soft and full of legs on the inside. The outside is that hard little shell. If they're empaths, they have learned how to throw up a wall where they're at. I'm sure, though, every nurse you meet will say, I always have a gut feeling. I always have intuition. Same for doctors. They do. Especially because they're being asked day in and day out to make life-saving decisions on the fly, often with incomplete information. They are constantly exercising their intuitive empathic abilities, and yet they're constantly in a high-stress situation being pummeled with people's uncontrolled emotion and fear. That, yes, is a high-stakes and wearing environment. And there are others like it. Hey, you lawyers, you know who you are. What do you guys do all day? You go to combat. You do. What you're supposed to do is defend or prosecute. Both of them require you to go in and put up a defense or go on offense. That energy is zinging back and forth, and it is hot and strong. You know what? You could be empathic too. It just means you can feel what's gonna go down. You have a sense what the other party is thinking and what they're going to do. But boy, are you in a high emotion, high energy environment. Those of you in the military, those of you in war zones, same. Perhaps the most difficult environment for an empath. Those of you who work in psych hospitals, around people whose energies are frayed or broken, you too, surrounded by that, and yet knowing. I'll admit, there are some professions that take a heavy toll on us. And if you are in one of those professions, I'd like you to think of it as a kind of training ground. Pretend you're in the martial arts and someone just threw you into the dojo with a master and they kept you there for 3 years. Yeah, you're going to come away with a lot of bruises and sore ribs and a black eye. But you'll have learned a thing or two. And it bears asking, do we continue staying there? Do we need this, and how long? Or do we change? And that's a question that you too can ask yourself as you go forward in your days. What I want to leave you with, dear empath, is this. Whatever job or career you've created for yourself, it has been the right fit. It has been. You may have overstayed in that right fit, but it has been the right fit. You led yourself to it. You allowed yourself in. There was something there. The question now is it still a right fit? Do you want to gain more balance within it? Or do you want to change, shift, and move into something else entirely? That's the question that can occupy your mind and your being. But the way to answer that, frankly, is to just allow yourself to sink into what's calling you. Throw that fishing line out into the sea and let the line just go and go. Let the reel just go and go and go and see where it lands. When you do that, you will get the information you need to make the decision that you want to make. I know it, and I want you to trust it too. All right, now, with that, resources, help for you. I have some beautiful courses. I'm thinking of one in particular called Connect Your Gifts with Money. It helps you see what your talents are and learn how to monetize them. Now, your talents may be things not related to your current work, but it might be a way for you to cast your reel out there into the sea. You can get that course outright at flowdreaming.com, or if you just join my Flowdreaming Mastermind, I open up almost all of my courses, 36 of them to be like precise, as well as about 45 flow dreams. They're all instantly opened for you. It's a monthly membership. It is not expensive. It's really wonderful. Plus, we do workshops every month as well and hold parties and just kind of get to know each other. It's pretty awesome. But you can also be looking at other playlists, ones that ask you to reach into your divine guidance, accessing your God mind. That's another wonderful course. Actually, it's part of the mastermind. But all of these flow dreams that open you to your divine intuition and your divine guidance and your divine timing are going to help lead you further into this path of clarity. So do check those out. You can find them all again at flowdreaming.com or on my app. I do have an app. Yes, it's on your phone. Just download it. It's Flow Dreaming for Meditation and Manifesting. And it has all of these flow dreams that you can purchase and begin using to kind of reshape yourself and your life. If you have questions, always reach out. I answer my own email personally at summer@flowdreaming.com. It's always delightful to hear from you. And I thank you so much for spending your time with me. I value your life, your existence, your time, and giving me a drop of it to listen and learn and grow. It's an honor. So thank you for being my listener, and I appreciate you. If you have any words of gratitude, likewise, just put them up as a review of this podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, I think you can leave reviews there. I know that you can on Google, you can on iTunes podcast. I appreciate any and all reviews that you leave. Until next time, my darlings, much love to you all. Stay in flow. And if you want to learn more about the beautiful, curious, fabulous, potent, powerful technique of flow dreaming, boy, I teach that extensively. I've got tons for you, whether in some of these past podcast episodes or just poke around on my website where I've got free tutorials that teach you all about this gorgeous manifesting method that I do. I'll see you all next time for another episode of Flow Dreaming, still kinda woo-woo. Hey friends, I just want to point you in the direction of a couple of resources that might just light up your day. First, I have an app. It's called Flow Dreaming for Meditation and Manifesting.
And it has hundreds of flow dreams and playlists that you can use, download, enjoy to start sculpting these energies of your life. Now, second, there is a YouTube channel for flow dreaming. I know, who'd have guessed? The best thing you can find on that channel, aside from also this podcast, is a tutorial. It teaches you how to flow dream. I'm right there on the screen with you, leading you through several beautiful and gorgeous flow dreams that we do together. So go check it out. Look up Flowdreaming on YouTube and have a good time. Enjoy yourself with these beautiful free resources. And if you feel the urge, reach out to me. I am always available, summer@flowdreaming.com, and I'll help you. And together, we'll discover what maybe a perfect personalized flow dreaming program for you could be like. To find out how to do that, just go visit my website, flowdreaming.com. Until next time, love to you all.